This is the 2025 Range Rover SE long wheelbase 7-seat. Is it a great luxury SUV option? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I borrowed this Range Rover from my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. Here is what your remote will look like, just to show you what's going on there. Lock, unlock. You can hit that button to turn your lights on. You've got your premium LED headlights and signature daytime running lights. You'll also be able to open and close your power tailgate, and if you need it, there's the panic button right there. And you'll also find the LED fog lights down here on the lower portion of the bumper. It's going to really help you out after dark to see everything that's going on. We're going to have our forward-facing camera, the exterior color being Fuji white. I like how you have your black Range Rover name right here. That fits, but notice that not everything is gloss black here. It's nice to have a color combination that's a little bit different, but the gloss black seems to be in the right place as it should be. Now these are the optional 23-inch wheels, and the one thing I do wish was there is maybe something up here to break up the monotony of the hood. I don't know, tell me what you think about that. Even if it wasn't a fully functional vent or something like that, it would be good if it was functional, maybe a heat extractor, but just one of those things. But maybe some people might say, no, I really like that clean look. I can't say that I blame you for that. And you'll have the gloss black with the roof line up here that really sets off this exterior color. You'll also find gloss black on the lower portion down there as well. And with our side view mirrors, I'm going to hit the button to open everything up here. They are heated, power folding, power adjustable side view mirrors, turn signal indicators built in as you saw. Those are going to be right here. And you'll also have your blind spot monitoring. And you'll also have your deployable door handles. I'll show you how those look in action. Kind of a bit of a cool factor, I guess you could say, but also going to help with aerodynamics. But when it comes to the doors, that's not all that we have here. These are also soft closed doors. If you're not familiar with what that is, you don't have to slam the door all the way shut. The Range Rover will take care of that for you, and we'll do the same thing back here, as you can see. And something that is one of my favorite features with these Range Rovers is the nice wide rear doors. No trouble getting in and out. That's something that definitely works nice. You'll have the dual shark fin antennas up top and the rear roof spoiler that conceals away the rear window wiper, giving this rear area a very clean look. And we'll also have our LED taillights. You can see all of that in action right there. A little bit of an animation going on with that. If you're looking for a combination of a luxury SUV with a lot of horsepower at your disposal, this is definitely it for you. This Range Rover has a 4.4-liter turbocharged 8-cylinder engine that makes 523 horsepower and 553 pounds-feet of torque. That's all mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It comes with all-wheel drive and air ride suspension. How about your MPGs? Well, if you're really good, you can get maybe 16 city, 22 highway, 18 combined, and 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And one more note, your gas tank size, it's 23.8 gallons. We're looking at max towing of 8,200 pounds, which is not bad, and 40.9 up to 92.8 cubic feet worth of cargo capacity. Now this is a 3-row SUV. You can see the 3rd row seat belts right there. You have the cargo cover that is removable if you want to take that out, and I have lowered all of the seats just to help you out with everything as far as being able to see what's going on where that's concerned. And the thing I like here is that it's very easy to get those seats back up. All I did was just pull on those buttons right there and everything comes back up. I don't have to hold anything down. I like that. Now, one of the advantages of the air ride suspension back here is, depending on your situation, you can raise and lower the rear of the Range Rover. So that can help you with loading and offloading cargo, and that is done via the controls right here. So if you want to raise the vehicle, you can do that. Now I'm lowering the vehicle right now. I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. You're also going to have your cargo lighting back here. That's going to be very useful. And we'll go back here and take a look. And obviously you can stop the process of raising or lowering at any point. for your convenience when it comes to making things easy to load and offload. Now we do have the split tailgate, which is going to be this area right here, being able to be used as a seat if you want to do that. There's also the lighting that shines straight down on this area, so that's very helpful. So quite a bit going on back here in the way of versatility. And one more thing, here in the rear cargo area, you're also going to have connectivity in the way of a 12-volt power outlet. Let's talk about what your passengers are going to find. Plenty of room here with the armrest, and as you can see, seat memory right there. It's going to be built into the left and the right-hand side of the driver and passenger sides here in this middle row area. So that means that your passengers can set everything up just right, and depending on who they are, they can change everything and set the memory settings to wherever they want that to be. You can see that the seats will also move forward, actually quite a bit. So there is the option to give third row passengers a little bit of additional leg space, depending on what they want to do with all of that. And you have the power shades on the doors, the privacy shades. Going to help out not only with privacy, but to maybe help a little bit more on those really hot days to keep so much sun from coming into the interior. And there's the panoramic sunroof. That front portion will open. There's a power shade right there. So speaking of concealing things away with the sun, well, you have that option where that is concerned. And there's no shortage of space within the back seat here, especially with the seats reclined. I feel like I have more room than I could ever want back here. Plenty of space as far as that goes. In the command center right here, we can change all sorts of things. We can turn on the ventilated seats and the heated seats as well. You can see there's 3 stages of each, and then we can pull back like this and we can change the fan speed. You probably want me to do that because it does seem to be a little bit much right now, so we're going to turn that fan speed down just a little bit. But you can see what's going on there. There's also going to be connectivity down here on the lower portion with USB and the power outlet right here. Let me get that out of the way so you can see the power outlet. Storage on the rear seats with the rear seat pockets. You'll also have some space with the door bins right here as well. You can lock and unlock the doors. Quite a bit going on back here for your passengers, and a nice view of the sunroof from this vantage point. One more thing that I think is very useful here is the oh crap handles, because 523 horsepower can definitely put you back in the seat a little bit. Something else that I like quite a bit is the fact that you not only have the air conditioning vents down there on the center console, but also up here in the roof area, a little bit closer, actually a lot closer to your passengers. It's going to help them to cool off or warm up quicker depending on what's going on with the temperature outside. And your passengers will also find the fold-down armrest with a little bit of space built in, and the cup holders that are concealed away until they're needed. How about the sticker price? $154,450. Let's see what else you get for the price beyond what I have shown you already. Here's your upper console. You're going to have the power shade control right there, and there's how you open and close that front portion of the sunroof that I told you about earlier in the video. Now, for anyone who might want to know the feature where you can wave your hand back and forth like this to open and close anything up here, that's been gone for several years. I had somebody say something about that in a previous video, so I wanted to make sure I covered that. And we're going to have seat memory for the passenger seat and all of our seat adjustments right there on the door panel. Heated and ventilated seats. Now you might notice what's missing as far as your controls go. That's going to be everything for your lumbar support. That's actually located within the Pivi Pro infotainment screen. I'll show you how that works in just a little while. But we have our lower glove box and our upper glove box. A little bit of extra storage where that is concerned. Always nice to have plenty of room throughout the interior as far as storage goes. So never an issue. That's always a good thing. And we're going to have our auto dimming side view mirrors. The rear view mirror up here is also going to be auto dimming. And you can control everything with your side view mirrors right here, depending on what you need to adjust. You can easily take care of that. And your controls for your windows and everything for your seat position right there and seat memory. The steering wheel is tilt and telescopically adjustable. That control is right here. It's power adjustable, and it's going to be located on the right-hand side of the steering wheel. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls, including everything for your adaptive cruise control. You can turn the heated steering wheel on and off. Doesn't seem appropriate to really talk about that right now, but where you live, it might be necessary. Too warm here in Northwest Louisiana. But you can see what else is here, I think you know. And we'll come back to this area in just a second. You will find your shifter paddles, everything for your front and rear window wipers, and also everything for your headlights, your fog lights, and your turn signal indicators for those of you who keep your turn signal fluid reservoirs nice and full so you can use your blinkers. Now I'm going to push right there and you'll notice the arrows that come up. You have quite a few things you can work your way through. Display layout, your head-up display settings right there. As you can see, vehicle settings. There is a head-up display. I don't know how well you can see it because it's a little bit on the bright side today here in Northwest Louisiana. But you can also see what your driver's display looks like. Very nice, very modern, and you can make changes to that. So let me show you how I do that. In fact, we'll do it right here. You're going to come right here to mode. You're going to select that. Notice it's in comfort right now. So I'm going to go to eco, and you won't really see a lot of change where that's concerned. But if you go to dynamic, you will see quite a bit in the way of change. As far as the way that looks, got your speedometer right there and your tachometer, all that good stuff is going to be here. You can see what all is going on with the vehicle. I like that. And let's talk a little more about the 13.1-inch Pivi Pro infotainment screen. Something I really like here, it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. You're just going to connect right there or select that area of the screen and it will walk you through the process. Very easy to deal with. You can turn the auto stop start feature off or on depending on your personal preference. You have navigation right here. A lot going on. A very nice system. There's a lot here, but don't let that fool you into thinking that it's complicated to learn this Pivi Pro system. Very easy to deal with. You can see what your wheel info is and see what direction your front tires are turned in case you're curious for one reason or another. You just work your way through and you see what all is going on here. Very nice. A lot of great conveniences, a lot of great features, and one of my favorite features, we're going to go right here and take a look at all of the different camera views. You can see that we can go all the way around the Range Rover and even zoom in and see what's around us. That's not the only way we can do that. We can also select right here, as you can see, and take a look all around the vehicle. In fact, when you go into reverse, you're going to get your backup camera just like that. That's going to be nice. And you'll also have things such as wade sensing. If you're running into a situation where you have to drive through some water and you need to see how much water you're driving through, and if it's getting too high, you'll know. A lot going on. You can go up here and just select whatever you need to see what's going on. It says do not wade into flowing water, as you can see right there. But you can see some of the different features that we have as far as this model goes. You can also change your ride height. So here's what's going to happen. We have access that makes it a little bit easier. And I know you can't tell, but it is raising up right now. I can feel that. And you can see on the screen what's going on as well. Now, when we go to off-road, you're going to see that it goes quite a bit higher. That's always nice to see in different driving situations. And in those different driving situations where you need additional ride height, that's the advantage of the air ride suspension. Now you can get a good look at how much higher the Range Rover is sitting up in that off-road position. And one little side note on this, when you get up to 15 miles per hour, it's going to return back to the normal ride height. So in case you're curious, that is how it works. And you can see all of the different modes here as far as driving goes. Comfort, you can go into auto. You have grass, gravel, and snow, mud and ruts, sand, rock crawl mode. You have your wade mode, and you can configure things a lot of different ways depending on what you want to do right there. So if you want to do that, you can. That's very nice. Now, you're not going to see those massive changes on the screen in case you were curious to see what's going on. I'll go through a couple things just to show you right there. You can see a little bit of a change where that is concerned over there on the left-hand side of the screen, but overall, you don't get any major changes across the screen. Somebody's going to ask if I don't actually show that. So we're going to go back here because I want to show you one more thing. You'll notice the 4 squares right there. What happens when you select that area? Well, it brings up all your different icons. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto right there, as you can see, in the center of the screen. And your dynamic mode, we can go right here and see that. There's a lot of things you can turn on and off. You can configure certain things to be dynamic and to not be dynamic if you want to do that. If you want your gear shift to be comfort, well, you can leave it in comfort, or steering in comfort. It just depends on what it is you want to do. One thing I wanted to make sure I showed you here is when we go right here. Now, this is how you're going to adjust your air conditioning, your fan speed, your temperature, all of that, turning on your heated and ventilated seats, depending on what you want with all of that. You can turn all of that on and off right there. We're going to turn that off. Now, if we go right here, see where that seat is up there? We're going to select that. And there's a few things you're going to want to know about. Now, you can either do the driver or the passenger side, but notice right here, there is where you adjust lumbar. And you're going to use these arrows to make those adjustments depending on what you want to do and where you want to adjust it. We're also going to have our bolstering, shoulders, headrest, and the cushion. And the massage function is also here, so depending on what you want to do with that, this is where you go to adjust that. You also have seat heat, so quite a bit going on where that's concerned. And you can fold down all of the different seats if you want to. You can have chauffeur mode if you want to right there. There's a lot going on here. You can use what I like to call the hunt and peck method to figure out what's going on and just learn your way around, but it's not complicated. And here is how I changed the theme from light to dark. I just did it right here. And so hopefully the darker theme helps out to get rid of some of that motion that we sometimes see on the screen in these YouTube videos. Your home screen right here, you can go in and make adjustments, edit your layout. Also, if you want to configure the audio to sound the way you think it should, well, there's where you do that. But like I say, it's something that's very simple to learn and use. It's just a matter of taking the time to work your way through everything and learn it. Plus, right here on YouTube, you can take advantage of a lot of different tutorials that are available. If you're wondering where your wireless charging pad is, you can conceal that area away. But there is the wireless charging pad and one of the different USB options around the interior. I like the way that the shifter is built because it fits so well in the palm of my hand. When you're ready to go back into park, you just push the P right there. There's where you start and stop the engine. And once again, we can conceal everything away right here. But when we want to, we can take that back out. Now, there are cup holders right here, but you'll notice that underneath that, there's another USB port, but there's quite a bit of space under here. And so if you need to take advantage of that, you can. And there is your center console. Maybe not the biggest, but there is a lot of space here in the interior for storage, depending on what you need to see. And you have your illuminated belt buckles. I don't know how well that shows up on the screen, but if I can manage to get into a darker atmosphere, I will give you a better view of that. And here is that look I promised if I could get into the darker atmosphere, which obviously I did. With some of the lighting on the interior, you can see the illuminated door sills. That's going to be front and rear. But you can also see the cabin lighting that does a great job of illuminating this area after dark. We'll take a quick look at what we have here. There are quite a few different colors you can choose from. Let me show you how you get to that area. If you're wondering, you can see some of the other colors right here. Now we're going to go down to those 4 squares right there, and then you're going to scroll all the way up and come down to cabin lighting. So we're going to select that. I say we're going to, there we go. That's my fault, not because of anything that's wrong. But you can see the different color combinations here. There's quite a bit, depending on what you want to see, maybe what your mood is. A lot of different options here. I won't go through every single one, but I did want to show you a few that are going on here as far as that goes. And you can also animate that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but you can see right here, you have the animate selection right there. So you can turn that on or off depending on what you want to do. Which color do you like the most? I have to say, while there is some good ambient lighting here, maybe not quite on par with Mercedes-Benz, but you know what? I still think that Land Rover is doing a pretty good job with what they have. In my opinion, It's hard to say for sure. Usually the blues are the best colors. Now there is one thing here that I do want to show you, but I like how that shows up. So we can go to my color and you can customize it right here, depending on what you want to do. You can change your accent lighting. So you'll have to select right here and turn that on. We can do the same thing with our background lighting, and you can see the different colors right there. We can also do the footwell area. So depending on what you want to do right there, you can turn that on and off. The only difference with the footwell area is that it's either on or it's off. You can't actually change the color down there. And there's a better look at the illuminated belt buckles, and you can see that it's not only here in the front seat, but also in your other rows as well. Okay, here we go on our test drive, and we're in dynamic mode, so I'm going to let you listen. Don't know if you can hear too much with that, but I tell you what, the acceleration is actually quite impressive. It doesn't sound like it. So when you look down at the speedometer and realize that you're going a lot faster than you thought you were, that definitely makes a difference. Great ride quality, that goes without saying, especially with the air ride suspension. The seats themselves are very comfortable. And when you turn the massage function on, it's not just this minor little, oh, okay, well, that's not really that impressive. You get a little bit of a massage experience. It gives you a really good massage. I can definitely feel it. So you have different options how you can set that up. And obviously, if you want to go to the maximum setting, which is what I have right now, you can do that. So quite a bit going on as far as your comfort and convenience goes and how you can set things up. Very easy to see out of. I like that. You've got all of your great safety features as far as your blind spot monitoring and all those great things go. And everything is easy to get to. The only thing I do wish was different here is I really don't like having so many controls within the infotainment screen. I would rather have some physical controls down here. While I understand the thought process behind that, it cleans things up and gives it a nice clean look down here, I would rather see a few physical controls, especially for your air conditioning and your heated and ventilated seats and things like that. Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I know some of you are going to say, no, Tom, I really like that clean look. I think Land Rover did a great job where that's concerned. A great vehicle for a long road trip. Very comfortable. The seats are wonderful. Plenty of room for everybody, especially in the first and second rows. Gas pedal and brake pedal, easy to manage. I didn't talk about this earlier, but you also have your four-wheel steering, so that's going to help out with your turning radius. That's a good thing. So a lot of great features and functionality going on here. Is there anything missing? I'm sure there's a lot of things. Some of you would say, I wish it had this, this, and this, and probably more than 3 things. I'm curious to know what those things are. Okay, tell me what you think about the 2025 Range Rover SE long wheelbase 7-seat. Besides being a mouthful to say, is it a great luxury SUV option? Tell me what you think down in the comments section, and tell Land Rover what you would like to see changed or added in the future to these Range Rovers. That would be interesting to see what you have to say as far as your feedback goes. Would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning me this Range Rover for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And please be sure to share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.